Good evening, and welcome back to I Saw You in That Thing I Saw You In, the podcast where we sit down with New England-based actors to discuss the craft of acting, projects they've done, things they've learned along the way, tales from the set, and tips on how to get your foot in the door. As always, our show is sponsored by the Parody News Network. Every week, PNN takes aim at a popular movie or TV show and parodies the shit out of it. If you're looking for humor and entertainment, not to mention a break from mainstream news programs, subscribe to the Parody News Network and enjoy watching the news again. Go to youtube.com/Parody News Network to like and comment your little heart out. PNN, your favorite movies and TV shows, satirized for your protection. And now, without further ado, please welcome the lovely and talented Dhanya Lott.
So my first question to everybody is the same first question, and I find it's a really good way to sort of open this discussion and this dialogue. So that question is, why acting?
Yeah, good question.
It is a good question.
Growing up, my dad and I didn't really have TV, so we didn't really watch new stuff. The only new show we ever really watched was Supernatural, which we are big fans. My dad has multiple tattoos.
Excellent.
Very big fans. But I watched what he would watch. And so growing up, I always watched like Monk, Doctor Who, Classic Who, Tom Baker, John Pertwee, Sylvester McCoy, all the greats.
You were raised properly.
My dad would love, he's going to love that you said that. And so I grew up watching Classic Who, then when it got kind of rejuvenated, watching Christopher Eccleston, David Tennant, Matt Smith. That was so, formulating for me and my brain, and, I loved the playing pretend and, the fantasy of it all, and, I just was really drawn to that, and so I feel like that's kind of where it started for me. I always kind of saw myself, as someone whose job is to just play pretend almost,
Sure.
And I always was really just drawn to it.
I will get tarred and feathered if I move on without asking who is the best Doctor Who.
Matt Smith.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
That was easy.
Absolutely.
Over David Tennant?
David is so great.
Yes.
He's a phenomenal actor.
Yes, he is.
He can literally any role. I know he's gonna absolutely crush it.
Uh-huh.
He can do those sensitive moments, but he can also do those ecstatic, eccentric moments too. Mm-hmm. But Matt Smith, for me, something about him, just he's my doctor.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Sure, everyone has one, yeah.
Yeah, everybody has their doctor.
Yeah.
And his season for me was just so impactful, starting with I think it was because I was a kid watching Little Amy when he found Amelia. And that, you know what I mean? So that really pulled me in. My dad and I actually drove when they were filming The Impossible Astronaut in Utah. My dad drove, I didn't drive. I was a kid. But we drove to Utah to Lake Powell and got to meet them. It was incredible. I got to meet Karen. I got to meet Arthur. I got to meet Matt. I got to meet Mark Shepard.
Mark Shepard, yep.
Also a wonderful person.
Uh-huh.
I got to meet all of them, and it was so cool. My dream is to one day get to work with Matt, and I'm going to ask him if he kept the photo of Tinkerbell that I drew him. I hope he didn't. I hope it got thrown away because it was really bad. It was so bad. But you can see paparazzi photos where he's carrying this giant cardboard tube.
Uh-huh.
And in there is a photo of a picture of Tinkerbell that I drew.
Wow.
Right.
There's a lot to unpack there. I don't know if we should dive deeper into any of that or move on. I think let's move on, but let maybe circle back to that because that's a crazy story. Wow. Okay. It's my genuine hope that you do work with Matt Smith someday and you're able to revisit that moment.
That'd be. I just cannot wait. I'm gonna be like, hey, do you remember me? So we'll be like, no. You don't remember the 10-year-old child in the desert who gave you this cardboard tube?
Who could possibly forget that?
Yeah.
Who could possibly?
Exactly.
So your journey, your life journey began in Iowa?
So that's what I like to tell people when I first meet them. And then I like to spring more lore. So yes, I tell people that I'm from Iowa.
Okay.
I'm not, but I like to tell them that I'm from Iowa, from a farm. I lived with my grandparents, and always knew that I was going to be a Iowa State Cyclone. I tell everybody that. I knew I was going to go to Iowa State. I wanted to get in-state tuition. I'm actually from Colorado, and I was born in Denver. This is why I like to spring this on people later, because it's just so quirky. Born in Denver, my dad and mom, my brother and I were the OG van life people. My dad converted a school bus, and we lived out of the school bus for the first year and a half or so of my life, driving around the country selling coffee on the beaches, and then eventually settled in Colorado Springs. I lived in Colorado Springs until I was a sophomore in high school. Then I moved in with my grandparents because I wanted to get in-state tuition to Iowa State, and so I moved to Iowa, and that's what I like to tell people.
So Iowa doesn't come into it until sophomore year of high school?
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's where I kind of became an adult. You know what I mean? I graduated high school, I went to college, had my first beer in Iowa. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of growth and development happened there. And I think if I am to claim somewhere as a home, it's Iowa.
Those are the formative years.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I will give you Iowa. Where did the acting journey begin?
Good question.
Thank you. I like to have good questions ready.
I took an acting class my freshman year in Colorado.
Okay.
So
not Iowa.
No, not Iowa.
For those who are playing along at home.
Yeah, who's got the spider web, board connecting the dots
with the red string.
Yep,
sure.
Yep. So I took an entry level class my freshman year of high school, and so kind of there.
Okay.
I knew I wanted to do it.
Uh-huh.
But I really, as a kid, I'm sure some people will relate to this, but heard the top Disney shows are casting in your area on the radio, and you're like, are you the next Disney star? And you're like, heck yeah, I am, absolutely. Come to this casting call and then give us $5,000, and then you're going to be the next Disney star. So I did a few of those. I would get the offer, but then my family was like, we're not giving these people our money. Right. So kind of rinse repeat as a child. Didn't really have the opportunity to get started, but knew I wanted to do it. Took the intro level acting class in high school. When I moved to Iowa, I did our community productions in high school because it was a very small school. I went to a country school.
Okay.
And so, do our school productions theater, but I really started to get into film when I moved out here. I had the opportunity in 2021 is kind of when I was like, I'm an adult, what am I doing? I have free will.
Sure.
Why not? So I did my first audition, and I didn't get the role, but I got to meet somebody that has helped my acting journey out for, since I first met him to now. Mark Parker, he is a casting director, he's a director, a writer, super great, very knowledgeable on so many things. And so I auditioned for his fan film. It's Scream 7 years later, I believe. Didn't get cast, and I asked him for feedback. And he was like, oh, well, I'm actually an acting coach. And he really helped me kind of understand the industry, get my feet, planted and get going. And from there, was able to keep auditioning. The more you do it, the more you kind of flex that muscle. Took some classes, met people, network, so it's the whole process.
And it's all brought you to here.
I know.
Wow. The pinnacle.
Crazy.
It's all downhill from here, I'm sorry.
I thought that as I pulled in your driveway.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. What brought you here?
My 2024 Subaru.
No.
No?
What brought you to Massachusetts from Iowa?
Oh, okay. So, I got laid off during COVID.
Okay.
So it was my first job out of college. I was really fortunate to have a job out of college, but I got laid off like very many people did, because what even was that, you know? The businesses had to shut down.
Sure.
It's supply and demand.
Yep.
It's economics. So I got laid off, and I was like, I've been in the Midwest my entire life. I want to do something more. I want to do something different. And so I moved out here, didn't have a job, and was just kind of like, why not? You know? And I was able to find a job, not relatively quickly, but I found something. And that's kind of like what helped me get my feet beneath me, and was, you know, I was able to stay because I found, you know, my first job, and that is ultimately what also got me into acting. So I was like, I have a good job. I don't work there anymore, unfortunately, but, you know, I was able to get settled, find my people, and really like lay roots, which was really great.
Why not LA or New York?
I didn't know that I wanted to do acting when I got laid off.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, I had already gotten my degree, and I think, like, LA, not New York, respectfully, LA could be something in my future, but, like, when I moved here, it was kind of to, like, be closer to family and, like, kind of come back to a place that I had lived during my childhood a little bit. And so I didn't really have LA on my radar. Okay. But it's definitely something I've thought about now, mainly because I hate the cold.
We all hate the cold.
Yeah, especially this year.
Yeah, especially this year. Yeah. Dhanya is a name I've never heard before. What's its origin? Right.
So there's no camera, so you can't really see me miming.
She is miming smoking a joint.
Yep.
But I don't know why. So
my dad.
Oh, okay. Now I know.
You know.
Okay,
so,
got it.
You know, we were hippies. We lived in a bus. You know,
yeah,
like
sure. Okay.
We were flower children, and so my name is a combination of my grandma's name, Donna, and the Buddhist term Dharma, and just like hippie shit. You know? Yeah.
Yeah. No, hippie shit. Sure. Absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. I should have guessed that. In my research, because I try to do thorough prep, I discovered that there is a little bit, or at least there's photographic evidence of a little bit of cosplay.
I knew this is where this was heading.
I know for a fact it's you can confirm that you were Batgirl in 2016 at the Denver Comic-Con.
All right, kids, this is your reminder. The internet is forever. No matter.
Yes, it is. It's a glorious tool.
No matter what you do, that shit stays. So, and it's not like I'm embarrassed, but it's just like, oh my god. To answer, yes, I am a huge Batman fan. In fact, my dream role, if I ever could, I would love to play Stephanie Brown. She is, hold on, I gotta count it out. There's Dick Grayson, Tim Drake, Jason Todd, Damian. She's either the 4th or 5th Robin.
Right. Yes, that's right.
I think she's before Damian Wayne.
I don't remember, but yes, either 4th or 5th. Yes, you're right. Yes.
And then she was Spoiler, then she was Robin, and then she, without spoiling anything, she comes back and then she's Batgirl. My dream is to play her either as Batgirl or as Spoiler. I don't care. Either or. I just love her as a character, and I love Batman so much. And like that whole universe is like my favorite. And so when I was, a senior in high school, I went out and spent some time with my dad between, school, college, blah, blah, blah. I made my own cosplay from scratch. And
the Batgirl one?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that was all done. Except for, like, the boots, obviously.
Yeah.
Everything was done from scratch. I sewed all of it. Used Warbler for, like, the cowl, and the belts, and all this crazy shit. So, I definitely love cosplay. I really want to, like, revisit that cosplay and, like, revamp it in the style of, like, the Arkham video games Batgirl, but make it Stephanie. So, big Batgirl, big Batman cosplay fan here.
Okay. So again, looking through your stuff, you've worked with a lot of people whose names I recognize because I've worked with them with PNNs. Marvin Novogradsky, Kimball Crosley, Kim Fogelgren, Carolyn Holland, Janine Myers, Ryan Nunez, Paul Kandarian. Do you, and it doesn't have to necessarily be from that list, but do you have a favorite person that you work with?
Ryan.
Ryan?
Absolutely.
Okay. And why is that?
Have you met him?
Yeah.
Obviously. But
well, I know how I feel about him, but what did you guys vibe? Was it just like...
Yeah. So I have done 2 going on potentially 3 films with Ryan. I did A Beautiful Day. I did Drowned. And eventually I have to text him back about a 3rd film that we're going to try to write. Ryan, without getting too sappy, is one of the most kind and loving and like altruistic people I think I've ever had the pleasure to meet. I think Ryan puts so much good into the world and sees the best in people, and he's one of the first people to really believe in me. A mutual friend, Alyssa Botello, who is a phenomenal actress, a phenomenal director and writer. You should all check out Sweet Freedom. It is beautifully made. But she referred me to Ryan for A Beautiful Day, and I got to, audition, work with him, and it was one of the best experiences. Ryan is so sweet, and he has so much love and passion for what he does. And so from A Beautiful Day, that did its festival run, got some awards, such an awesome crew, wonderful cast, and so I got to work with him recently on Drowned, and that is doing its festival run right now. Both are just very like poignant films about like kind of like the human condition, you know. Drowned is about a woman, a mother struggling with ADHD, and how, you know, I'll let people watch it. I don't need to describe it, but and then A Beautiful Day is about like Alzheimer's and dementia. So both are very beautiful films.
So you've got a lot of film, got a little TV and commercial, but I didn't find any theater. Do you not do theater these days?
I have no qualms with the theater. I have a lot of wonderful friends that do the theater. It's not my style.
Okay.
I do love like the ballet. I love like opera. I love a musical. I love just like plays in general. But for me, I like to I try to be very intentional with what I give my energy to. And I feel like theater just like doesn't necessarily align with like what I am hoping to do one day. You know what I mean?
So there's the part of every one of these where we go to your IMDb known fors.
Right.
The first one on IMDb that you're known for is She Cries Murder.
Okay, yeah.
What is that?
So I play such a small role in that. That's so funny.
You're known for it.
Great. I have a friend who just was like, hey, we need somebody. I get interviewed about, I say this with so much love because it is a really good movie. I just don't really know much about it.
Okay.
But I get interviewed about a coworker who was murdered, and I'm just like, I don't know shit about shit.
Once again, I Saw You in That Thing I Saw You In is sponsored by the Parody News Network. Every week, PNN takes aim at a popular movie or TV show and parodies the shit out of it. If you're looking for humor and entertainment, not to mention a break from mainstream news programs, subscribe to the Parody News Network and enjoy watching the news again. Go to youtube.com/Parody News Network to like and comment your little heart out. PNN, your favorite movies and TV shows, satirized for your protection.
So
that's it?
That's about it.
Wow. Okay.
I'm going to go see it, and then I'll actually know what it's about. But a mutual friend was like, hey, we just need somebody. So I was coming off of another shoot, and I drove down to Connecticut, and it was a long drive.
Yeah, it is a long drive.
But the director, Tony Capes, very, very nice, very friendly. Yeah.
How recently was this?
Last summer. Summer 2025.
Okay. And did you say it's out yet or not?
It is out April 17th.
Oh, right around the corner.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. People, keep your eyes open for that, and the blink and you miss it.
Yeah.
So the next one is Red Shore.
Yes. So I kind of a similar situation. I met CJ through a skit that I did with Pat Shea. Pat is hilarious. It was I play this guy's girlfriend, and we're having like a double date. It's very funny. It's not out yet. Again, that sketch isn't out yet, but Red Shore is. Okay. So I met CJ through that, and he kind of had like a last minute urgent casting that he needed, and so he reached out to me, and he was like, I was so impressed with you when you worked with Pat. I'd love to have you on the film. And so I got to play a detective in the film, and so I get to, you know, have a very like intense scene with the lead character, who, you know, I don't want to give too much away. You should just go see it. But yeah, I get to kind of play this like detective role, and I feel like I haven't gotten to like stretch my legs in that type of way and like play a character like that. Mm-hmm. So it was really cool playing like a more tense, serious character. It was very fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we have The Waiting.
Oh, yes, The Waiting. The Waiting is a film about IVF and kind of like the struggles that like women face while going through the struggles of infertility. A lot of times this is like a struggle that women face behind closed doors. Mm-hmm. And you know, it's a very, very special film to me. I have a lot of love for it. And I'm so pleased that like Ted trusted me to like take on this role. It's a voiceover role, so it was a little bit of a different type of film. Mm-hmm. A lot of it was very just like visual, facial acting, with me doing a voiceover poem by this woman named Kim. I'm not going to give her last name because I don't know if she wants to be put on a pedestal like that. Okay. But I want to give her credit. She wrote a very beautiful poem that very vividly just like portrays the struggle that women go through as they struggle with infertility and go through IVF. And so Ted reached out to me for the role, and it was just truly the biggest privilege, and I'm so pleased that he like trusted me and believed in me to take on this role. He's one of my favorite people to work with, and you know, I love whenever he's like, hey, we're doing something, you want in? I'm like, hell yeah. Duh. How can I say no?
Right. Tell me about The Day the Clowns Cried.
Yes, very, very good question. The Day the Clowns Cried is a film about the Hartford, Connecticut circus fire. Yes, and so it is about one of like the deadliest mass fires in American history. In 1944, a very, very deadly fire broke out at the Barnum and Bailey and Ringling Bros Circus when they went to Hartford, and it was like July 6th. It was really, really hot. It was the middle of like wartime, and so unfortunately a lot of the casualties in this situation were women, elderly, and children. The men were away at war. They don't know exactly what happened, but a fire broke out and just engulfed the Big Top like within seconds, because the Big Tops back then were treated with paraffin wax, which is,
that'll do it.
If you don't know what that is, it's a mix of wax and gasoline. So the second that it just poof.
Right.
And I think 167 people unfortunately passed away. And I originally came up with this story when I heard an episode of Morbid, which is a true crime podcast done by Elena and Ash. They are two Boston girlies. And so I heard their episode about it, and there's a moment that just like clicked in my brain where I was like, oh my God, this is it. This is what I want to write my film about. When this tragedy was happening, a lot of the ushers were trying to put the fire out. Nothing was working. And the ringleader signaled to the band to play Stars and Stripes Forever. Mm-hmm. And that is a signal for like carnival folk to drop what you're doing, get everybody out as quick as you can without starting mass panic. That is like code blue something's fucked, like get everybody out. And so the band starts to play Stars and Stripes Forever. Could you imagine?
No, I can't. That's horrifying.
Yeah, and that is what really spurred me to write this film. And so it is definitely still a work in progress. We have a finished script, and we're still kind of going through pre-production. But I'm hoping that this year or like next year, it's something that we can really get off the ground.
With regard to your acting journey, what's been your favorite moment so far?
I feel like I don't have necessarily a favorite moment. And this is so corny. The friends that I've made along the way. Like, if I had to say my favorite anything, it's the people that I've gotten to know. And they're the reason why I even have any of those moments. Yeah.
So the favorite aspect of your journey has
absolutely.
Been the people.
Like, I mean, you. Like, I got to meet you through this journey.
That's true.
You're pretty cool.
Thank you.
We got to talk about some pretty cool people.
Yeah, we have.
You know? And, like, there's always going to be another moment. There's always going to be, blah, blah, blah. But getting to meet the people that I've met is the truest, like, the biggest blessing.
Let's talk about auditions.
Yeah.
Love them, hate them, don't mind them, necessary evil.
Very good question. So the industry has really pivoted, I feel, in the way that auditions are done. And I know many actors can speak to this. Before COVID, for better or for worse, it was you were in the room. Mm-hmm. Now it is self-tapes.
Right.
When you're in the room, you get to connect with people and you have an opportunity to ask for feedback. You do it, you do your take, and then the director can be like, do it this way. And that could be because, the casting director could say that, and it could be because they want to see if you have range and if you can take direction, or it could be because your first take was off base and they just want to see something different. Mm-hmm. You don't get that now with self-tapes. So it's a catch-22 because you can sit there and redo it 15 times. And if if you have to redo a self-tape 15 times, you need to go back and you need to do more prep.
Right.
If it's taking you more than 2 to 3 takes, you need to do more work.
Yeah.
Respectfully. But you can sit there and you can do it so many times and like you can make sure it's perfect, but you lose like that human touch of being in the room, because like there's this saying like you might not book the role, but you can book the room. Mm-hmm. And you can still do that with self-tapes. Like if you're getting brought into casting time and time again, it's because casting likes you, but you're just not finding the role that's for you. An actor, not kind of sidebar, but an actor recently DM'd me and was like asking me just like different questions, and he was like, I'm like newer and I've booked some stuff, but like I want to like be in some of these bigger things, like what do I do? And I was like, the best thing you can do is keep doing what you're doing. Like if an audition comes to you and you don't book it, keep going. This industry is such a long game. Mm-hmm. And just because you haven't found the opportunity for you yet means that you will. Like it's out there. You just got to keep going. And so that's the tough part. I feel like the industry is such a long game, and you just got to keep working. Those auditions, they're for something, like if you're getting an audition, that's a step in the right direction. If you're getting a callback, that's a step in the right direction. It means keep going. You're doing something right. And so I would say for me, I prefer self-tapes because I'm just anxious. I think being in the room is great.
Yeah.
But I know that I need to work on my in-person audition skills. It's something that I know I need to do, but they're so few and far between.
Right.
That it's really tough to like flex that muscle and like work on it.
Yeah.
So self-tapes are great. I like them. Kind of a hassle, but they're here to stay.
Right. What actors or actresses inspire you?
I would say Matt Smith and Karen Gillan, definitely. Orlando Bloom, David Desmalkin. He is an inspiration. I am so proud of him and for him. He went from literally his credit, when you look up his name on his character's name on The Dark Knight is Schiff Thomas. He plays a paranoid schizophrenic, blah, 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 blah. Joker Thug 1. That's his credit. Joker Thug 1. He has worked so hard. He's gone from that to being one of the main characters in, like, Suicide Squad. He deserves everything that he worked for because he worked so damn hard. So I'm so proud of him. So he's definitely an actor that I would say I'm inspired by. He did the damn thing. You know, he went from a small role to being, you know, one of the main leads in a film, which is incredible. He's
also one of those few, well, they're few now, maybe the number is increasing, but the few people that do the Marvel DC crossover, because he was in Ant-Man.
Oh, yeah.
He was part of the crew there.
Yeah.
And then Suicide Squad and then Dark Knight. So, yeah, we touched on this a little bit earlier, but I'll just ask it straight. Do you plan to stay in the New England area, or are you seeking your fortune elsewhere?
Very good question. I feel like the industry is different now, where you don't necessarily have to be in LA. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it helps. I think if you are in LA, you can meet some really great people, you know? But I don't think you have to be there. I've thought about moving, mainly because I hate the cold. I hate it.
We touched on that, yes.
I hate it. So that's always fun, and it makes filming outside great, because I don't know what it is, but the amount of roles that I've played, and they're like, oh, we're gonna have you as a waitress outside. By the way, it's March and it's fucking freezing. Enjoy being in a skirt. Right, thanks. For the love of the game. But I don't think you necessarily need to be in LA. I would say I've thought about it, but I think I would need to have way more credits. I think there's so many people that go out to LA and have the dream, you know, the classic, like, I'm gonna go out to LA, I'm gonna make it. There's so many people out there doing the exact same thing. And so I think if I were to go out there, I would want to have some pretty big credits. So I would say not yet, but the future is unknown.
Right. And it sounds to me from just from what we've been talking about that there's plenty for you to do here.
Oh yeah.
So it's not like you're suffering from a lack of opportunities and work here.
Yeah. I think my best advice for anybody who's thinking about going to LA or moving for film in general, Atlanta, New York, etc., make sure that you are that bitch in your local market. Make sure everybody knows your name. Make sure that you are booked and busy as heck, that you have outgrown your local market and there's nothing more for you there. I think, you know, once you do that and you have those credits, you can go and be competitive elsewhere. But I think until you do that, you should wait and grow where you are. And I know it's tough because so many people are like, I want to make it, I want this, I love this dream so much, and I want this so bad. If I go to LA, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna make it. But it's so easy to go out there and have to deal with some really hard struggles. And you know, this is an industry of constant rejection, and when you want something so bad, even if you are, you know that this is an industry full of rejection, and you know, you can only take so much. So, yeah, that's my advice, is like, make sure you are booked and busy in your local market, and then decide, once you have some big credits, preferably an agent as well, if you want to go elsewhere.
Makes perfect sense. Become the big fish in the small pond.
Yes, absolutely. Because then when you go to LA, when you go to New York or Atlanta, does not matter how big fish you think you are going to be a very normal sized fish in a market with a ton of normal sized fish and a lot of big fish.
Right.
So.
In a very big pond, yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Is there something you'd like to do in the future that you haven't done yet?
Yeah, definitely. I want to do, like, either a really cool action film, like an apocalypse film, and, like, be a survivor. I actually just, a friend of mine, Blake Prost, he works at Studio Lab. He's very wonderful. He and I just redid my headshots, and one of the looks was survival/final girl. Have you seen them?
I have not.
Oh my god, he did so great.
Yeah?
Yeah. And, I mean, Blake is really cool.
If you could give just one piece of advice to aspiring actors who are just starting their careers, what would it be?
I would say one of the biggest things that I see, and I mean, I asked this too when I was starting out, when I was, like 3 or 4 years ago, is like, did I start out too late? And I think a lot of people think when they're like, oh, I want to be an actor, what they want to be famous. And so everybody says, no, you can start out later in life. Like, look at Morgan Freeman. Like, he started later in life. There's a lot of actors that started later in life. You can start acting whenever you want. Literally, it doesn't matter what age you are. There's always going to be a role. But you need to know what you want out of acting. Do you want to be famous? Because if you want to be famous, you should just go be famous. Mm-hmm. There's avenues for that. But if you want to act, you need to know the difference between being an actor and being famous. So regardless of the age you are, yes, you can start acting. You can be an actor at any age at all. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter if you're 7 or 70. But knowing what you want out of it is going to be really important, because that's where you need to set your expectations. There's always the opportunity and the chance that, yeah, you could start at 70 and become famous. If that's what, that's what's in the cards for you. That's incredible. That would be, I would want that for anybody that wants it. But you got to be realistic with yourself. And so if you're asking yourself, can I be an actor at X age? Do you want to be an actor or do you want to be famous? Find that out for yourself.
Right.
And understand and know that, yes, you can be an actor at any age. And this industry is a long game. It takes a long time to get started. But it's worth it. It is so worth it. And even if you don't get to book that multi-million-dollar film, the people you meet along the way are the important part. I hate to be that person, but it wasn't about the journey, it was about the friends you made along the way, whatever the corny saying is. Because it is also about the journey. The journey is wonderful, but be there for the right reasons and enjoy the journey. It's a long game. You book something, you gotta wait for it to film, then you gotta wait for post, then you gotta get the footage, then you gotta have enough footage on your reel to have a reel to send out to people. It's a long game. Be patient. It is worth it. Go out, go to film festivals, meet directors, make friends, connect with people. But connect with people to connect with them as a human. Don't connect with them as an actor. I mean, you should connect with them as an actor, because that's who you are. You are an actor. Mm-hmm. But don't connect with them with an expectation to get anything out of it. Connect with them with the expectation to connect with them and be a friend and be a human. I think that's also a lot of really good advice I can give.
And finally, what is next for you?
Yeah. This year has already been kind of a blessing. I have a couple things that I'm filming with Ted. We filmed a short that is kind of like a proof of concept called Workers. So we're expanding that into a feature. And so I'm very, very privileged to be able to play the lead role in that. That's going to be filming next year, but we're actively working on it. I am doing a feature film with Marco Sandoval. I'm very, very excited for that. And that is going to be, I think, this spring. I'm doing The Leak, which is going to be filming a couple weeks from now. And then, I'm in talks to do another film with Ryan. So him and I are going to be collaborating on that. I have no idea when that would film, though. That's kind of just like a twinkle in my eye. Okay. But who knows? It's in the cards. But yeah, so just a couple of things. I really am hoping to book stuff outside of the New England area. Mm-hmm. So, auditioning. It's the slow season, though. Yeah. That's the hard part. It's like I said, it's a waiting game. Right. Hopefully things are going to start popping up. But those are kind of the main things on the agenda that I'm very, very excited for.
Dhanya, thank you so much for coming and doing this. I really appreciate it. This was a lot of fun. And we'll see you all again on I Saw You in That Thing I Saw You In.
If you're hearing this message, you've listened to the entire podcast, and for that, thank you. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you did, please leave us a review on Spotify. See you next week for another installment of I Saw You in That Thing I Saw You In.